Right, let's see if we can make this work. Fantastic stuff. It's Red Army TV. From home, it's Dave Roberts, joined by the Fox. And, of course, two special guests in it, of course. Mikkel, Beck and Jan Fjortoft. How are you, boys?
We're good,
fine.
yeah. Jan speaking.
We're fine, yeah.
You got two Foxes on. You got Mikkel Fox and the other Fox.
So Darren Fox from Red Army and Mikkel Fox. Come on, there must be a story behind that, Mikkel. Where did the Fox come from?
Well, in Denmark, I actually just spoke. Yeah, I spoke to Jan about that. In Denmark, we still have, we used to have, and we still have a cartoon called Mikkel the Fox. So I'm pretty sure you have it in England as well. I don't know if it's called the same. So whenever I managed to score goals, which I didn't do all the time, of course, but whenever I did manage to score goals, I was called Mikkel the Fox because it's someone really, really clever, you know, who finds the goal. So when I knew that Fox was going to be on today, I said he's half of me, yeah, because I used to be Mikkel the Fox.
And if we had an adult TV series now, you can say it the other way, but we won't do that. We can play on words, but we won't do that. No. So Mikkel Fox in Borough, but we won't do that. I promise you, I won't do that.
That's okay. I'm fine.
Look, two Scandinavians with us. You know, it looks like Mikkel's sitting there nice and comfortable with curtains behind him. But Jan, you look like you're in a sauna. What's this? What's going on?
I am in a fantastic, great hotel in Oslo called Hotel Bristol. Last time I saw Becky, we were having a good meal here and a 3-hour-long chat together with Martin Dahlin. So we were a Swedish striker, Danish striker, and a Norwegian striker. So I'm in a hotel. So if it looks like a sauna, I have to undress, but I won't do that.
No, please.
By the way, he's a shareholder in that hotel. Yeah, you can hear that. Yeah.
Is he really? Okay, so that's why he's plugging it so many times. Look, fellas, it's fantastic to have you with us. I might as well get rid of these now. Look, you've Mikkel particularly. You've been grabbing all the headlines on Teesside about this charity game. I'm sure we'll chat about that as well. But Foxy's here. Foxy's the historian of Red Army. He doesn't even have to pick up a history book, and he knows all about you guys, I'm sure. So he's got plenty of questions to ask. Having a look back at the good old days as well. What's that, Foxy? Yeah. Go on.
I'm a geek.
Yeah.
Or a geek.
Good lad. So let's touch on this game, Mikkel and Jan. You're helping Mikkel. Where did the idea come from?
Well, actually, it was my idea from the beginning. I think like everyone else in a total lockdown here in Spain, where me and my family decided to go down. When actually I live in Monaco, but when they closed everything in Monaco, we decided to go down to Spain. And there's not really a lot to do. So what you do when you have nothing to do, you become very creative. And I was just thinking, you know, because I mean, when you put on the news every day, you hear about so many bad and negative stories. You know, people dying, really unfortunate, and it's just so sad, you know. And I was just thinking, what could we do? Is there anything I actually could help with? And that's when I came up with this idea. You know, I had the greatest time at Middlesbrough. I know the Northeast very well, and the people in the Northeast, great people, great area, great club, great city. And I just put up this tweet one day because I just had this idea, you know, let's do something to put smiles back on the faces of the people in the Northeast, and hopefully let's try and generate some money that we can hopefully help some people, you know, with, and that's basically how the idea came up with this tweet this night, and it just went from there, you know, and I'm super happy that you know, you, Dave, and certainly Jan have decided to join up with me and help me, because this is something that, you know, I want to do something really important, really big. We want to bring back everyone to the Riverside, and certainly also we want to fill out that Riverside Stadium again, like it used to be. So of course we're talking about a massive event. What do you call it? Event. So you know, I need some help, and I'm so happy that you guys have decided to help me, And I think we're on a really, really good track already. But there's still a way to go. It's still early days. But I know for sure that this is going to go ahead. Yeah.
Jan, why were you so eager and so quick to jump straight on board and get involved?
Well, I think Mikkel just said it there. I mean, I share his thoughts and his initiative for doing what he has done. I mean, myself and Becky, we kind of left each other after Middlesbrough. We kept an eye on each other for all the years. We follow our career, although we haven't seen each other so many times. But you love to do something with your mates. And this was a great initiative. And I think everybody, not only footballers or Mikkel, felt that, is there anything you can do? And when you are like myself and a lot of other people, I needed to be isolated in there, and you just feel that you want to give something back. And I'm not overstating that, because I think every human being can just only do what they can do. And what I could do in this stage was to kind of support Mikkel on this and try to do something positive. And I think myself and all other people in these times where things are, we're getting numbers of death that is unbelievable. I just read that USA now have more death from the virus than they had from the Vietnam War. I mean, this is unbelievable. And so this is a historic thing. So I think that what we can do, we can try to grab some hope back. I need hope. I need hope in my daily life going to work, because I love to travel. I can't travel. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. You kind of feel trapped, but still that is a luxurious position to be in. And I think that mixed with a great idea Mikkel had, that we can try to fill up a Riverside Stadium. It's amazing, because I think that I've played for many clubs, and I will never compare them or anything. But what I do know is that the Northeast is a very special place for the passion for the game, for the passion by the identity. And myself and Mikkel and the team from the Cup final team or the European Cup final team, they will remind people of a very, very good time. I think we all hope that Borough will one day come back to that stage, to the Premiership, but still to have a chance that we can mix those kind of things. That I said it in a tweet yesterday, that the heroes on the pitch from old days can kind of use our position to the heroes in the front line now, fighting the coronavirus. I think that was a great initiative, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Well, we're going to get the fans' view of Foxy very shortly, but messages already coming in. Scott Watson, hiya lads, how are you all? I can't wait for this charity match. Brian Pape, good to see you guys. Great players up the Borough, stay safe. Lots watching. Ian Mogi, two great legends, Jan and Mikkel. I thought they were talking about me and you, Foxy. So lots of messages coming in. Richard Smith says, up the Borough. Rob Fletcher, this is fantastic. Well done to all involved. Borough fans are going to love this. I mean, the messages keep pouring in. Mikkel, Jan, you've both seen it on social media. It's gone crazy. But Foxy, from a pure fan's perspective, how are you welcoming the match?
I think, to be honest, guys, it couldn't have come at a better time. And I think it's bizarre how things work in life, where this probably wouldn't have ever happened unless it was under a testimonial banner, which obviously isn't going to happen. For a bunch of players to get together like this, especially over, I mean, obviously, for me, I'm 41, so the era that you two guys played for us for was kind of my younger days. And, it was my... It was a brilliant time to be a football fan as well, to go to that stadium and stuff like that. And obviously with Karanka, that was our sort of next successful kind of era. But it's a much welcome release, because obviously you guys will be well aware of the season that we're having at the moment. And I think that whether football starts again or not, which we all fingers crossed it will, this could be a much welcome boost for our kind of transition with Woodgate moving into his next season and stuff like that. It could be a brilliant boost for all the fans to fill the Riverside up and take a look at some real special players that have graced our stadium, if you like. So I think it works on a couple of fronts. It's a boost, as you say, for the area, and it's also a boost for those people that have never got to see those players in the raw, if you like. But it also kind of it propels us a little bit. It gives us that extra bit of energy maybe to crack on with our season next year. So, I mean, it's an awesome thing. I mean, the thing that I would ask is, the Karanka, bringing back the Karanka team, is that just because that was our Premiership team again, or is the links there with Aitor? I mean, was there never any sort of look at the Gareth Southgate team that unfortunately got relegated? I mean, how did it come about that it was the Karanka team, guys?
Well, I think I would like to answer that one because really, I know how it came across. Yeah, I know exactly what happened from the beginning. I mean, like I said, I put up this tweet, but even beforehand, again during lockdown, there was like things posted on social media. I think there was something posted that in the, I think it was 97, 98 season when we were in the championship, that I think I finished the top scorer with 15 goals, and then there was Merson, Marco Branca,
That's right.
Alan Armstrong behind me, and I just posted it one day, and I just said, memories, great memories, and then some people started talking to me about promotion, and then there was someone else saying, yeah, what about, do you remember the other promotion team, with Karanka? And I said, yeah, I remember, of course, because I follow Mitch all the time. And then someone just said, as a laugh, he said, who would win if you should play? And of course I said,
Yeah.
Game on, we would win. No doubt about the fact. What I did forget a little bit in the moment of the truth is that these guys they're still playing, and we are of course not playing anymore. So I think just based on fitness, they would probably run us down, and we would probably not even be able to walk after a couple of minutes in the game. So I think the idea of playing against the other promoted team was a really good idea. What I didn't know when I actually set game on was that Karanka would certainly retweet that and said, I'm on, for a good cause. I'll definitely do that. So, this whole idea was suddenly, out in the public. I think, after having thought a little bit better about everything, and also having spoken to Jan, as my, let's say, my advisor in this thing, and with Dave also, I think what we all agree on is that if we should play against this team, it would probably not be the best game to watch, because I mean, these guys would be top fit. We are not top fit anymore. And not only that, but they're still playing, and we still don't know which date we're going to play exactly, but it could be a date where they're still playing a game. They would not be able to come. So I think we are probably more and more, leaning towards a game of former legends, but former legends that would be more or less, maybe not exactly, but hopefully more or less on the same level, also fitness-wise, So a good idea could actually be to bring back the two, let's say, cup final teams. Yes, I know we went to 3 cup finals in our 2 years, but then after that there was another team that actually went to a cup final and won it. So
that's right.
Maybe that would be more, let's say, a fair game to play, and maybe much more fun for the public to actually watch. So I think we're leaning a little bit more towards that at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, great. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that people will turn out and obviously as ex-professionals, professionals, and you want to be competitive, and once you get onto that field, you want to be fit, and you want to be competitive. You're not there just to, just for the day as such. But I think that just the whole idea and everything that will go with that, it'll put a smile on people's faces no matter what the score is, I think. But obviously, I get from your point of view, you want to be competitive. But to be
I mean, it's just about not winning, not losing 9-0 on the day. It wouldn't be that fun, yeah. But I still want to say that, of course, and me and Jan, and Jan will probably say this afterwards, because of course I'll just let Jan talk then afterwards. But just to finish this off, I'm so proud and so happy that Karanka actually did reply to my tweet. I never actually expected him to do it. So of course I'm fully respectful of him doing that. So I'm not saying that thanks but not thanks, But I'm just saying, like, we have to be honest. We have to find a realistic setup, about what could be and what is logical and what is actually, a possibility. And that's where I'm saying that it might. And I'm not saying we have made the decision, but we're leaning more towards this, And I'll give the word to Jan now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not just to say that. I think we start I guess, the other way around. We're starting off to have a target to make a fantastic night in Middlesbrough. That's where we start. Yeah. So then you go backwards, and then you think, who could make that happen? And then you have a list, and you have the list of the people who are lighting us up. I mean, I play with Juninho. Becky, we play with Juninho, and he will always be top of our list. So then you will strive to find as many as you can, and then you'll just find people around. And we talked with the other day with the club, and I think Middlesbrough Football Club responded fantastically. It's so great to hear that the kind of ideas that Mikkel took initiative to, and the way we discussed it, and we found each other so quick. And to be realistic, if we make a game like this, we need to have. It's going to be hard enough to find a date, so we can't have a lot of players playing of fixtures different around the world. That is point one. If we mix that up, and secondly. This insurance that they will belong to different clubs, and then you have to pay a lot of money to that. They should go to charity. Right. And the third thing that it makes it all so easy, there is busman rules for former players that doesn't exist. So the 96-98 team, because it's true, Mikkel said 97-98, and I said, well, I'd be on board if you say 96-98. And then there are no Borough legends that will be kind of stopped at the gate. I mean, this should be a celebration for Borough of the past and the Borough of the present, the situation we're in. So I look forward to when we're getting closer to this, and realistically with the lockout and realistically with the season, you could have a look that this will be at the end of next season or whatever. Then I look forward to the different teams buying players. As long as they are played for Borough, that is good. I will get Jackie Charlton one night, Dave.
It's interesting. It's interesting you should say that, Jan, because Billy Ashcroft's watching this, former Borough striker. Before your time,
I want him.
You want Billy Ashcroft in? Billy, are you in?
Dave, no more strikers because me and Jan want to play. Okay.
I spoke to Ravanelli. This is 100% true. After we spoke yesterday with the club, I called Ravanelli, and Ravanelli said, "Well, I will come. I will come if I don't do this and do that." But like Mikkel says, we just try to stop us, Dave, when we say we can't have any more strikers. Just try to stop us.
You give me the list of the strikers.
Because I said to Jan yesterday when he had spoken to Ravanelli, I said, okay, good. We are unbelievably happy that he will come because he's so important for this whole setup. But did he actually know before he said yes? Did he know that he's going to start on the bench? Because me and Jan will be in the starting 11,
That is the real charity, that I'm going to be in the starting lineup.
Look, a couple of more messages coming in from the guys. Okay. Richie Ripley, Jan and Mikkel, applause, he said. Fantastic, something really to look forward to. Well done, Mikkel. That's from John Brooks. David Bradley takes me back a bit, Jan, when I used to do commentary on the Borough. Super Jan. It's the old Jan Fjortoft song. So
I love that.
That's David Bradley. Chris Lofthouse, Mikkel, you played for Borough with Merson, and both of you guys played with Juninho. If you had to choose one or the other in the number 10 role, who would be your choice? Merson or Juninho, Mikkel?
Is this for me or is it for Jan?
It's for
you.
you.
You didn't play with Merson, Jan. So,
no, I didn't. No. I didn't.
No. Well, honestly, it's funny. I was just thinking just before because Jan said we both played with Juninho, and of course we cannot forget Juninho in any kind of charity match, but. I must say, especially those 2 years from 96 to 98, I was lucky to play with Juninho first and then with Merson afterwards. I also played with the two Laudrup brothers in the national team, I must say, those two, Merson and Juninho, are honestly up there with the very best I ever played with. I had an incredible understanding, with Juninho. Davey sent. I know he posted a video of a game against Huddersfield. I think we won 5-1. It was in
I think it was the Huddersfield Town Cup game, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
And just that first goal, where I just remember so many moments in games where Juninho would be just outside the box, and I just had to be in the right position in the box. I knew he was going to play me, and I knew I had to somehow fight off the opponent and just give him back the ball. We always played those 1-2s within the box, which are actually really difficult things to play because not only does it ask for a really, really good pass from him? Sometimes in between two legs or whatever, yeah, because there's not a lot of space in the box. And then I have to be sure that I get the ball, because of course you are really, really closely marked within the box, yeah. And then I have to play back the ball, and he has to have a really good first touch to actually do something out of that ball that I give him again. And we had it, and I said to you, Dave, today, like, we could do it with our eyes closed, because we did it in training and we did it in games. It was amazing. We were lucky to help the team many, many times with goals exactly that way. And then when I go on to Merson also set up a lot of my goals, actually. He was very intelligent. I knew a little bit like the Laudrup brothers. I knew as long as I just made the run at the right moment, I knew I was going to get the ball, because he saw my run. I knew he was going to see my run. That run, not a lot of people would see, but he saw it. And Juninho also saw those things. So for me, it would be hard to choose between any of them. I thought they were amazing players, both of them. And it was a privilege to be able to play with them. And, I'll probably put them at the same level.
Jan, you played with Juni. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Dave, but Mikkel should be a politician. He didn't answer your question.
I know.
But I understand.
I did. I put them on the same level. I said 50.
Yeah. I heard what you said. That's the same what you did with girls. You took both of them. But what reminded me of a story when Glenn Strömberg, who is now a colleague of mine on TV, Glenn Strömberg, he played for Atalanta Bergamo, he played in Benfica, he played in Göteborg, and he played with a guy called Johnny Ekström, who was a quick striker who played for Bayern Munich and
IFK Göteborg.
Yeah, and Empoli and everything. And they said, they said that Johnny Ekström never knew where to run, but thank God Glenn Strömberg knew that. so just remember, because I think sometimes for a striker you do your runs and you hope someone sees it. And I think that is a good thing about players. Like, I didn't play with Merson. Obviously, I've seen Merson doing great stuff for Arsenal, for England, and for Borough as well. Juninho wasn't that playmaker kind of guy, but he was that as well. He set up so many, and through his movements, through the way he speeded up the game for us, that's why he was an amazing player.
The one I want to ask you about.
What Juninho had was, like you said, he was that kind of player that would often start the attacks. He would get the ball, and he could be wherever on the pitch, but he would get the ball, and you knew he would get past whoever came against him. He was so quick. He had such a low point of gravity, and it was like they couldn't stop him. Merson was not like that. Merson was a little bit further up the pitch. He would get the ball, one touch, and sometimes even he would play one touch, passing, or he would take just one touch and he would just put it over the behind the strikers, and he knew behind the defenders, and he knew often I had made that run. So you just have to make the runs because he would put the ball in there. That's where he expected you to be. Juninho was more put yourself in the right situation, and Juninho will use you. That's why he used me a lot in the box. Like he would play 1-2s. Yeah.
And he'd often start quite deep as well, like you say, Mikkel. He'd often play with his back to goal and spin and dictate the pace from a deep place in midfield. I was just going to ask you both while you were talking about Merson and Juninho, is that you both, as you say, found space and you both made a lot of runs. And something that's often criticised with strikers now in the modern game, which strikers seem to be lazy around the edge of the box. And I don't know whether it's something that needs. I don't know whether it's something. Do you think it's an individual thing, or do you think that your movement improved by playing with those types of players?
Well, Mikkel was the mover. I was lazy. I was just standing around the 18-yard box. So I kind of, when people ask me, Mikkel was a different player because Mikkel was very good at doing those runs, and he will. When you play with players, and it's amazing to listen to play with Juninho, Merson, the Laudrup brothers. I mean, with Brian being in the shadow of Mikkel, but still a fantastic player. So to play with those guys, I mean, that makes you easier as well. But I was more that kind of player. I like to be around the box, not go far away, because I knew that it took me some time then to go back in the box. And I always said that, well, when people said to me, "Yeah, but Jan, you didn't run enough," I said, "Yeah, in my next life, I'm going to run more. But in this life, I was more busy scoring goals." But Mikkel, you were the more the runner. Sorry, Dave, have you taken over your host position now?
Carry on, mate. I mean, that's your job now, so carry on, please. No, I was going to ask Jan. I was going to ask Jan though. Let's go one step back before Juninho came, because you were part of that trio, that little triangle between Nick Barmby, Craig Hignett, and yourself, and it seemed all so natural. It didn't matter which one of you was running through. Look at the first goal at the Riverside against Chelsea. It was your flick that set Barmby away, who then squared it to Hignett to put in. And then the second goal in that game, which you scored, Jan. What's it like to be the second goal scorer at the Riverside, by the way? It was Higgy and Barmby who combined to then put the ball across to you to finish. How natural was that threesome?
Well, it's interesting discussion, by the way, to score the second goal at the Middlesbrough. You have to ask Buzz Aldrin how it was like to be the second on the movement. But and it's quite interesting to talk about things like that, because you may argue that Fjortoft, Barmby, Hignett was better and was more efficient for Borough at that time than Fjortoft, Barmby, Juninho. And it is quite interesting because Juninho, I mean, everybody who played with Juninho would say he's the best player you ever played with. But it just shows you how football are like. I mean, you have to put a balanced team together to get the best out of players, and then you change a bit around the system. And it took time for Juninho or also for the players to understand to play with such a great player. But as you said, Dave, I think that system that Robbo set up that with myself as a clear number 9, and with Barmby with an unbelievable energy in his game, going up and down the field, and Higgy very underestimated really, because he played with Barmby, and then Barmby and him were like the twins, and well, someone said, well, that twin is better, so to say. So Higgy did well, and to be serious at your thing that about the goal against Chelsea, and I mean that 100%. I'm glad that happened to Higgy, because Higgy is a local lad. He was around there. I'm very, very happy to be a part of a team that played that first game that I got a goal. I'm more annoyed that the last game of Ayerson Park that I missed a big chance, because I remember that chance very well, and I should have scored that, and I would then be historic to score the last goal on Ayerson Park.
John Henry wouldn't like that, though.
Yeah, I had him as a manager in Barnsley, mind you, and I will tell you one story about John Henry, because I came to Middlesbrough not to replace him, but I came there to play as a striker, and the same thing did happen in Barnsley. So, and in the summer when we got relegated with are you allowed to swear on your TV?
Of course you are.
Okay, so when John Henry and Danny Wilson left then in the summer after we got relegated, and he went to, I think, Sheffield Wednesday. So the old players of Barnsley, we were waiting for the manager to come in. But he wasn't there, John Henry. So I asked John Henry to, and I did an impression of him. Probably he will come in now and be our new manager. And mind you, 2 minutes later he came in. First, the thing he did, he put himself in the team, put me on the bench. Oh, thank you for being a roommate. And then we have a bit fighting for different things. And then when I went to Eintracht Frankfurt, he called me up. And I wasn't happy with him as a manager, but of course, I liked him as a person. So I was swearing to him on the phone for I don't say 10 minutes, but 3 minutes. And I used all the swear words I knew, also about his height and his way of leg. and when I was finished, John Henry just said to me, "You signed, have you?" So then it was once again. Thank you for coming back, Mikkel.
Yeah, he's trying. Mikkel's trying to come back. Are you there, buddy? Are you joining us? Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's just get a few more comments while Mikkel gets himself sorted out. Mark Iafano, one of our mainstays at Red Army. It makes sense to have the two most successful managers in the club's history. Chris is
back again.
James Bryan said something. I think it's in Norwegian, so I can't even try and can't even try and pronounce that one. John Atkins, make an All-Stars game. Karanka as one manager, you as the other. Take your pick on former Borough players. There's another suggestion, and we welcome them. Ian James Smith, hi, loving this idea. Fair play to you all for getting it sorted. Legends, the lot of you. What else we got? Rob Fletcher's back. Merson was an incredible player, head and shoulders above anyone in the league that year. A lot of comments on Merson, actually. Is still, for me, the best value money signing we've ever made. Brian Pape, I love the roar from the crowd. There's my phone ringing, so all the messages have gone off. There we go. I love the roar from the crowd every time Gino got the ball.
Actually, Dave, can I just ask you one thing? Is it true? Do I remember right that Merson actually joined us in the championship?
That's right.
Of course, as a big name player already. Yeah. And he managed to get back in the England squad, playing in the championship. How many players has actually managed to do that?
He was the first player, Mikkel, at the time. He was the first player to be chosen outside of the top flight. Well, was with the Premiership, first player.
So that's quite an interesting one, you know. Like,
he had a hell of
I would like to take a bit of that credit also. You know, I gave him. Actually, I scored a lot of goals from his passes. So imagine if I hadn't scored those goals, he wouldn't have been in the national team.
But Mikkel, that's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as Juninho. And I said the other day on Twitter, Mark Schwarzer is going to have a interview with Juninho. So he said, "Do you have any questions for Juninho?" And I said, "You ask him how it's like to have a great Norwegian make him his pass against Leeds in the first game so good." I mean, it's like when that was goal of the season, it was like it was Finnish goal scoring. For fuck's sake, I had to chip John Lukin. I had to do the best run in the world, and then I have to score that goal.
So okay, it's good that you as a Norwegian remember one goal you set up for him, but I remember another goal I set up for him as well against Chelsea, and I know that year that was chosen as best goal of the year. So if I have not given him that look away pass, he wouldn't have scored that goal. So maybe you and me, we can take a lot of credit for his big success as well.
Well, some of the fans want to thank you as well. So Chris Lofthouse, Jan, I just want to personally thank you for your goal away at Barnsley in '95. It was a horrible rainy day, no roof, and it was the only good thing that day. So there you go, Jan. That's somebody. Do you remember? That rainy?
Jan, was that the goal with your left foot that you put in the long corner?
Exactly. I think there is a lot of things that goes into that game because sometimes it feels like. That is one of the kind of from memory here from the Borough goals, and I think there was a great day out for the fans. It was raining, it was pouring. We had the green shirts. I love the green shirts, by the way. And I remember after the game we were 1-1. We were sitting in the bath. Viv was playing. He was like 72 at the time, and he was.
That's right.
And we were sitting
Nigel
in the bath.
Pinkton as well, was it?
Yeah, we were sitting in the bath afterwards, and remember. We were happy with a 1-1. We were away from home, and I remember as the results came in that afternoon, that was very good for us somehow. And I remember sitting in the bar thinking that point was very value for our promotion challenge.
Yeah, it was. It was a sticky end to the season that year. When I think we beat Luton at home, didn't we? The last game, and it started to get a little bit worrying for the last maybe 7 games. But obviously you played your part. I mean. You'd had a really good season at Swindon in the season actually that year just before you signed for us. I wanted to ask you the difference just while we're on that. Was there a big difference? Obviously, transition coming from Swindon to Middlesbrough, was it? And obviously they were a Premiership team at the time, but they went down, didn't they? You scored some good goals, a lot of goals that season. The team that really struggled.
Yeah, we had a great run in the Coca-Cola Cup, that I was called. We were lost in the semi-final against Bolton after we were up 3-1 or something. So I think I ended up with 28 goals that season, including one we did at Borough. So it was a good season. But of course, I think that everybody, when you play in the Championship, you expect if you're going to leave the club, you're going to leave for a Premiership club. But I think at the time, to come to Borough at that time, you were a part of a big project. And Mikkel would probably feel the same the next season he came there, because there was not only a revolution, there was an evolution, and I was at that time the record signing 1.3 million, and then we bought Barms for 5 million, and then come Ravanelli, then come Becky, then come a lot of Emerson, and then came Branko, of course, but we probably got money to get him. But we were like, it was an unbelievable time to be a part of Middlesbrough, and I think that's why I like this initiative so well from Becky, because I think that is a time that we will all look back to as a great time.
Yeah, golden era.
What about the celebration? Where did you get the celebration from, Jan? Where did you get the aeroplane celebration from?
I did all silly celebrations in my career. I even did the Lee Sharp going Elvis in a national game for Norway. So I was struggling to get a good celebration, and I did the airplane celebration at the game at Swindon at County Ground in first half, and I went off through the tunnel and with this old lady, and she was very old, and she was shouting Jan, 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 and I turned around and she was doing the airplane celebration, and I thought, well, if it's good enough for her, I think that would stick. And I guess now a lot of people don't remember I played in England, but they don't forget the celebration.
Yeah, I was asked a question yesterday, and I've forgotten to dig it out, so I can't remember who asked me to ask you. And that was, we all saw the Jan Fjortoft celebration, but how pissed off was he when everybody adopted the Ravanelli celebration soon after?
Well, I was more pissed when I was not playing against Liverpool, of course, for different reasons. As Lady Diana would have said, when you brought in Mikkel, Beck, a Danish great talent coming from Fortuna Köln, and Ravanelli, it was a bit crowded up front. And I was so annoyed not to be in the squad. So I went home. Sorry, Rob, I have to tell you, after like 100 years, I went home, I listened to the game on the radio, Ravanelli, 3 goals.
Yeah.
So that was relative to the game.
Yeah, it does. It does tell its own tale, the scoreline. A couple of quick messages. Had some great strikers over the years, including you two, Mikkel and Jan. We wish we could have somebody like you at the Riverside now. James Wilson, I can't wait to bring my son and let him see some of the best players we've ever had. Martin Johnson, nice work, guys. Enjoying the chat. The memories from you both. Hi, Dave Roberts. Jan, I heard a story when you first come to play in England. You stayed in at Stanley Parent's house. That's an interesting one.
Again, because I was told.
Yeah, sorry, Jan, I didn't realise somebody was in there with you. It just says here, James Bryan says, Jan, I heard a story when you first came to play in England. You stayed at Stanley Parent's house.
Is that a castle?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. Don't know. Loads of stuff coming in, but what's the overriding memories, Mikkel? What's your overriding memory of being at Borough?
Well, I mean, just coming to this area, staying at the Norton Hall at first, great little place, just feeling comfortable straight away, feeling welcome, joining the club, but not being able to play at first because of my legal wrangle with my former club. Then the team getting off to a really good start of the season. Then being able to play, then joining in with the team, then just being part of an incredible season with so many ups and downs. Most ups, but of course, a strange season. Ending on a really low with the 2 cup finals lost and the relegation in the end. Then deciding to stay. Do
you think you made the right decision, Mikkel? Then obviously,
I did because for me there was never any doubt. I had other clubs at that time that wanted me, but I remember saying to my agent that whoever comes in for me, okay, let's say if it was Barcelona, I would probably not have said no, But I said to him at that time, whoever comes in for me, I'll stay, because honestly, it felt so bad in my stomach going down with this incredible club, with these people up there, that had made me feel so welcome straight away, that I had to put them back where they belonged. So I had to go down. Maybe it was two steps behind, but I felt it could also end up being 3 steps, forward again.
Yeah.
So and also, looking a little bit at the squad. How many were we going to lose? Of course, we lost Juninho pretty quickly. Ravanelli played in the first game that we won 2-1, and I think he scored actually. Then he left, but we only lost those 2 players from this amazing squad, and then we added to that squad. We added actually, Merson, Gascoigne, Marco Branca. So we ended up having an incredible squad. which I have probably, I think I've actually, I don't know if I've tweeted it, but I would like to say it could actually still be the best squad ever having played in the English Championship. You know?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, it was such a bizarre relegation. I mean, have either of you guys come across anything like that in football before? It was just, I mean, what was it like from an inside point of view? To players obviously weren't fit enough to play, but I don't know if you remember at the time that the FA had come out and the Tottenham Hotspur they played a league game or an FA Cup game where they played a weaker squad, and they got into a lot of trouble for not putting out a strong enough squad in a competition. Then Middlesbrough came around and everybody was ill, and we couldn't put out a strong squad, kind of adhering to what the FA was saying, but then we get punished for it. Obviously, now it's so much of a squad game, that would never happen again. But as you say, that was a really good squad that went down by default more than actual the way that we played that season. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken so often about this this crazy relegation. Well, we didn't actually get relegated because we had enough points to stay up.
Yeah.
So, but we were deducted points in the end, and those points deducted was enough to put us down. So that was the most crazy thing. Regarding the squad itself, and well, the decision first and foremost of not playing that game. Us players, we didn't have anything to say about it. Of course, we were told that was the decision by the club that the club had taken. We were told that there was apparently this kind of rule saying that if 10 first team players were ill or couldn't play, you were allowed to do this. We followed, of course, what the club decided to do. I was one of the players that was not ill. Actually, I remember it was a funny thing for me because I wasn't ill. We were told we couldn't play. I think I went out, had a drink. When people asked me what's wrong, there was that many ill players. I was not one of the ill ones, but this is what the decision was. So we couldn't believe what the decision was in the end by the FA, and we couldn't believe it.
We often think as Middlesbrough fans that, and this isn't just sort of boo-hoo, poo-er us, but we often think that if it was a bigger club, would that have happened? And we kind of feel as if we kind of took the brunt, or we kind of made a precedent in punishing a team that season. I often think if that was an Arsenal or a Liverpool or a Manchester United, for example, they probably wouldn't have taken that course of action. But
well, it's a tough one to call. I wouldn't like to be the one calling that one, but what happened, and the squad was amazing, and I remember coming down to the cup finals at Wembley. We were staying in those hotels in London. Everyone coming up to the hotels, just like saying, we had so many fans around the country at that time. Like we played some football that everyone just liked watching. Yes, it was maybe a little bit naive, and at sometimes we played very, very offensive football. Yes, we conceded goals. Yes, but people like watching great football, lots of goals, and it was totally into the English philosophy of football. Yeah, it was.
Jan, good to see you've been kicked out of the sauna, mate. Are you okay? Are you settled now?
I'm in the bar now.
Oh, good man. Mine's a pint. Martin Johnson's asked you a question, Jan. He wants to know.
He only drinks champagne. By the way.
Yeah. So he said.
Expensive.
Yeah. Jan, you had a reputation of treating with a bit of distaste silly questions when interviewed. Have you got any examples?
Say that again.
Apparently, it says here, hey, Dave, didn't Jan used to have some good interviews where he'd treat daft questions with contempt they deserved? Has he got any good examples?
No, but I should be careful now because now I'm asking.
You're the interviewer now.
Yeah, exactly. but then I've been on both sides. But sometimes, the journalists, when they kind of predict something, they will say something. Well, today the first 50 minutes you were struggling, but then you came back in the game, and at halftime probably you went in there. And I always say yes, true. And why should I answer silly questions like that? You should always ask about someone. And I remember back in the days when Kenny Dalglish was told he said to Sky, if you tell me one more time how important was that win, how important was that first half, he said he would walk away, and he did. To be fair to him, but No, but normally I was a kind interview because I always tried to answer things properly. But yes, I had to go at journalists as well. Tried to be polite, and it was easy to be polite with winning games.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end. I had Sir Alex walk off the live interview when I was working for Sky. So there you go. But if Sir Alex Ferguson walks off your interview and calls you unfair, then you're doing your job. This is an embarrassing. You'll both enjoy this one. In fact, the three of you will really enjoy this one. It's an embarrassing one for Higgy because his mum's watching. Valerie's watching.
Who is watching?
Higgy's mum's watching, Valerie. She said great times, and she blows you both a kiss.
So I have this story about Higgy, and he was nude walking around.
No, Val's a real regular. Val's a regular on Red Army. She watches it, and Higgy says, "Whatever you do, don't mention her. It's embarrassing." So we did.
We love Higgy's mum. Hello, mum.
Jan, Andrew Harkin, I snuck out of college to see you sign. Can you say sorry, please, to my mum?
Why?
You were responsible.
Because I gave her a son.
No, because he nicked out of college to see you sign for the borough.
Yeah. And I think that it was an exciting time at that moment, and a lot of people have said that, and I'm happy at that time that I could be that guy who kind of went over $1 million or whatever at Borough. But it was a great time. And I think at the time, as Becky said, Borough was down. They were in championship. They were going for it. And I played twice against Borough in the league.
Yeah.
So I think that people of Borough, they were aware of my goal scoring ability because that was in the championship. I think that
you scored against us, didn't you? Didn't you score against us?
Yeah, I scored against you.
Yeah, I thought you did.
To be fair, that season I scored against anyone, didn't I?
Yeah.
So
Jan, did you play with Uwe Fuchs?
Yes, I played with Uwe Fuchs.
Because it was so funny. It was so funny when I played at Fortuna Cologne, the 95-96 season. Uwe used to play for Cologne, of course, my team,
exactly.
and I played with him. So he would come back. I think he was just there for like. He wasn't there for more than 6 months.
But he did very well for Borough.
I know, but was he on loan or what was he?
Yeah.
He just scored a lot of goals in
did.
that moment, and he would come back like 3-4 times to our club, say hi to us and say hi to the guys, and he would just talk really good about Middlesbrough as a club, and of course he had a great time at the club. Yeah.
He was adopted massively by the fans. Uwe Fuchs. He became a bit of a cult hero.
He was a legend.
Yeah,
legend.
Yeah.
From where he came from nowhere and pretty much helped get us promoted, didn't he? He was a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Stephen, who's this? This is Stephen Renison. Obviously, Ravanelli's come out and said he'd love to manage Middlesbrough. Have you two guys, either of you, ever thought of managing the football club?
No.
Yes.
Silly question, obviously.
I don't want to be a manager, and I said that after my career because I always said that I was lucky when I was 22 that I played in Vienna, and that shaped me very much because I thought in Vienna, which is a great city, underestimated city because I think it's one of the best cities in Europe. So if you haven't been there, go to Vienna. But a lot of things were. There was this mixture of politics, commercial, culture, and sport, and I thought it was so cool that everybody wanted to play striker for Rapid Vienna as I did. So I always knew that I would love to be in that area of the game, a bit outside, but still inside. I've been sport director for 2 terms. That was for Lillestrøm. I did that for 4 years when I also worked in TV. That was because Lillestrøm was my club or is my club in Norway. And I did it 2 years for the national team because I love my national team. So now I never had the ambition. So Becky will probably have an ambition to be manager. I still haven't given that up.
No, I don't say I have an ambition because it's too late now for me. But I have come across the idea several times. Also because what I do today, I manage footballers. Well, I manage my own clients, and sometimes I actually think I manage them even more than their own managers. So I have often said to myself, like honestly, if I was not going to be an agent anymore, I think I could probably become a really good manager.
Would either of you guys like to be a coach at all, an attacking coach or something like that? I mean, is that something that's attractive?
Me personally, just to answer the question from my point of view, I don't know what it is that would attract me being a manager. I just think it's yes, I love football, and I think I would like to think that I could make a difference. I'm good at man management, and I think I could probably bring the right players in a team, and maybe also, like you say, even be good enough to change games for the better. So if I hadn't become an agent, I think it could have been an interesting thing for me. Now I'm an agent, so I'm not going to become a manager anymore. But sometimes it has, it's come to my mind. Yeah.
If I would do a job in football outside, I've done that for Lillestrøm. I could do Rapid Vienna. I could have done different clubs in Norway, but I don't want to do it. The only position I can now would like to do, based on what I'm doing now, running my communication company in Norway, is to do that other side of a club, that the chief executive kind of role, where you work with good sport directors, will work with a great coach or commercial department. But to be fair, to end that, I mean, with Ravanelli, Ravanelli was a funny guy and a Borough, and talking about being a manager, we were having the team meeting away at Aston Villa, which is one of my favorite story of Ravanelli. And Robson will have the team meeting, and we're sitting in row 3 or 4. Maybe you were there, Becky. I can't remember. And next to me,
probably one of those games I scored in. Yeah, I remember I scored against Villa. Yeah,
can't remember you were there, but probably you were carrying the bags for me. But anyway, and I was sitting in the third row meeting.
Did you polish my shoes?
And I had Paldini, the agent. He was the translator of Ravanelli, and then Ravanelli was sitting next to him. We were on the same row. So Robson will have a team meeting, and he will kind of say, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. And then he said to Ravanelli, what I want you to do up front is I want to do this, and I want you to go in the space, and I want you to blah, 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 play on his shoulder and so on. And then he said, is that okay, Rav? And then Paldini kind of translated the whole story to Ravanelli in the meetings. So, and then Ravanelli went into a rant that lasted like for 2 minutes with all the Italians swear words in Italian. And it was like catastrophe, defenso, catastrophe, like poco loco, and everything. And when he was finished with all this ranting, Paldini turned to Robson and said, yes. That was all he said.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, we don't have an awful lot of time left. Your time is precious, and we thank you for being with us. Just a couple of more comments. This is a bizarre one. Glenn Goldsborough said, I was working in a shipyard in Gersken not long ago and came across a complex. I believe you had something to do with it, Jan.
Yeah, that's my hometown. That's my home village.
How do you pronounce it?
Gersken.
Okay.
That is the place, and quite coincidentally, I'm going there tomorrow to visit my parents. I can't fly, so I have to drive like 8 hours. But that is unbelievable that he was there. There's 900 inhabitants. We have a football pitch. My football pitch, it was done in 1978. It was a sand pitch, and you know what's it called? Because of the World Cup in Argentina, it's called the River Plate. That's the only stadium in Norway that had the English name, River Plate.
Fantastic. Who's this? Jeremy Harper. Two of our greatest strikers today. I think Beck was so overlooked as a great striker when Rav was there, but I hope he knows how much we thought of him. So there you go, Mikkel. Some nice warm words from the fans.
At least I learned one Italian word in my time with Ravva. That was bastardo. Yeah? So at least I can speak Italian today. I just need to say bastardo. Yeah.
So just before we finish, let's get back to this game. Charity game. I think the club has confirmed, fellas, that it is all the proceeds are going to charity, yes?
Absolutely,
CEO.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole idea is about generating money and giving them back to the ones that needs them. Yeah. So from the beginning, from the word go, it was the idea. It's still the idea, and it will stay the idea. It's an absolute charity.
Yeah. And I think that Becky, you are the one who is kind of getting all these, and I guess some feedback from the fans. And I think that there are so many great ideas to how we can do this, how we can raise money. Of course, it was basically that the club was on our side. That was very, very important. That's why the meeting yesterday was so important. But there are so many great ideas coming now with all kind of ideas how to raise money. And I think that's involvement. This is nothing to do with Mikkel, Beck. It's nothing to do with Fjortoft or Juninho. This is about the involvement. And that's why I think that is so great, that the interest we have from all the fans, different things we could do to get a lot of money to charity.
Yeah.
And Dave, can I just add one thing? During that meeting yesterday with the club, I also told the club, and I know Jan will definitely agree with me. There is something special up in this area. I'm pretty sure that people in England, when they talk about the Northeast, it's not always positive. But I only have extremely positive memories, and I can only talk very well about the area and the people up there. There's something about the area. These people up there are really, really good at getting together about something. When there is something, and the whole philosophy is let's stick together. They're incredible. They're outside category. Like they're world champions, and that's why when this idea was somehow put out, the response I've gotten, Jan is getting, you also, Dave. It just shows again, this is something everyone wants to be part of, because everyone knows how important it'll be. We'll all be together one more time. We'll fill out that stadium. They will watch so many legends playing in front of them. They will have so many memories coming back to their minds, and they will help to make it happening. And it's brilliant. It's just so brilliant,
Great words, Mikkel, and I think that it was great to have us on, Dave. It was a brilliant idea, and Fox as well to say hello to you. Looking forward.
Great to meet you, Fox. Yeah.
And
you too, guys. Honestly, it's a pleasure.
And also Higgy's mom. I want a special for Higgy's mom, because I know that Craig has said yes to be nude also at the stadium for that charity, and he will do that for 10 grand. And thank you, Beck.
Thanks for the charity again. Yeah, charity.
It's all for charity. Higgy will be nude at Riverside Stadium.
How much do you reckon we're going to get for that, guys? How much?
We won't get a penny, my friend.
Okay. And Higgy not as well.
I think just to wrap it up, look, the game's confirmed. We know it's going to be the 95 to 98 squad playing another squad. That can't be confirmed just yet, because there's too many things left untied. We can't say when it's going to happen, apart from it'll be next year. And that's simply because we don't know what's happening with the coronavirus.
It'll be next year, Dave. It'll be next year, because we know that we'll not be able to actually probably put people back in the stadium in the year of 2020, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we are unfortunately, we have to make this game in 2021. But the most important thing is that it's going to go ahead, and we are going to bring the most incredible players back in that stadium. We will do whatever it takes, me and Jan and you and whoever will help us. We'll bring the people back. They will pay a lot of, a lot back to the club and the area where they had so many great memories, and we will do whatever we can to raise as much as we can to help those people affected by this horrible illness.
Mm.
We make Borough great again. We have to make that.
I've got that hat. I've got that Trump hat, make Borough great again. It was the day he was inaugurated. I went out and got it printed, make Borough great again.
You done that?
I've got it, yeah, and it still exists, but it's in the TV studio back in the centre of Middlesbrough. I haven't got it at home, so I'll bring it to the game, boys. Absolutely.
As long as you don't bring Donald Trump, it's okay.
Nah, we'll keep him well away. Fellas, thanks for your time. Foxy, thanks for joining us. Look, we'll get the information out about the game as it's there. That's all we can promise. Fellas, thank you very much.